Last night, we were all punched squarely in the chest and reminded of Don and Cam's great betrayal to this Bruins fan base. As we watched 16 years of memories and a future Hall of Famer crying on the ice, we were left with a gaping hole in our hearts as the hockey gods continue to punish this franchise for the ultimate sin, turning your back on your franchise captain, Brad Marchand. How much longer must we suffer? This is a Bruins tape-to-tape snapshot.
The Bruins extended their losing streak on a Tuesday night with a 4-3 loss to the Florida Panthers. The game marked the first return of Brad Marchand to the TD Garden, and as expected, the Boston Bruins fans treated him as he should be treated, with respect and deserved applause and appreciation for all of the years that he spent in a Boston Bruins uniform, giving us many, many lasting memories as fans. Be that as it may, Brad took very little time to make his presence known as a member of the Florida Panthers on the ice when he assisted on Florida's very first goal very early in the first period on a power play to make the game 1-0. Follow that up in the second period with a total disastrous blunder of miscommunication between Mason Lohrei and Tanner Jeannot, which led to a goal by A.J. Greer. And I'll get to Mason Lohrei a little bit further in this snapshot. The Boston Bruins actually gave the fans at the TD Garden something besides welcoming back Brad Marchand to cheer about when they ended up tying the game in the third period with goals by Pavel Zacha and Elias Lindholm's third goal of the season, which once again came on the power play. I would like to see Elias maybe score a goal 5-on-5 at some point in time, but that's a story for a different day. The Bruins, unfortunately, went 1 for 5 on the power play, which is simply, to me, unacceptable. Unacceptable when you are playing a team such as the Florida Panthers. The Panthers came in on a 4-game losing streak of their own, and had you capitalized on 1 or 2 more of those power play opportunities, we might be having a very different conversation in this snapshot. After the Bruins tied the game up, of course, Florida came back to make it 3-2. We then have a response by Morgan Geekie, who scored a goal and seemed to have a great deal of relief to make it 3-3. And then we have the Panthers with very, very little time left on the clock, of course, on a goal by Carter Verhaeghe that makes it 4-3, and that's all she wrote. Now, I want to get to Mason Lohrei because the goal that put Florida ahead 3-2 is all on that young man. He is simply so weak on the puck that it is unfathomable to me that he continues to get ice time. I don't understand what is going on with this player's defensive skills. But when you refer to someone as a liability on the ice, I'm talking directly to Mason Lohrei. And I am not the only one who said that, because his own coach came out in the post game and referenced Mason Lohrei directly and 2 mistakes that he made that cost goals. Now, I know that we are trying to preach patience with this team, but the fact that the Florida Panthers were walking up the middle of the ice relatively untouched is not acceptable. So this group of players all need to get on board and play the same way, or we are likely going to be in for a very long and arduous season.
The way the game was lost certainly implies we are under some kind of curse, and I would love to see that kind of bad luck lifted ASAP. I will say, for all the things that have gone wrong with Boston, they don't appear to be quitting out there on the ice like they did last year. Their tenacity has been the only saving grace in games like this where they had a win or at least a point within reach. Anaheim another team with a fresh new look, is coming into town on Thursday night. Boston may or may not have a bit of a roster shakeup come tomorrow, as Jordan Harris has been placed on IR and Michael Callahan has been called up. Who knows who else might be taking a rest? We are still waiting to see what is actually wrong with Hampus Lindholm, since he has missed the last 2 games with his mystery lower body injury. The bar for the Ducks has been so low for so long, they don't seem to get into their heads too much at this point. But that doesn't mean that they don't have legitimate talent on this team. Cutter Gauthier is quite the sniper at 5-on-5, and don't forget, Chris Kreider is out there now. Beckett Seneca and Leo Carlsson round out the current top scorers on this young squad. In fact, as of today, October 22nd, Anaheim's expected goals for by expected goals against puts this team in the overall good category according to Money Puck in all situations, meaning they're able to create a lot of chances out there and only give up a few. They play a blend of dominant, well-balanced hockey. Who knew? Currently, Boston is not generating a lot of chances, and they give the opposing teams lots of opportunities, which we already knew. It's a low event and leaky style of play. Starting goalie Lukas Dostal has played 5 games thus far this season with a 2.82 goals against and a .904 save percentage. Dostal has started the last 4 games, so it is possible that backup veteran goalie Peter Mrazek will be out there between the pipes against the Bruins. He's only played 1 game so far, and that was in a win against the Sharks that saw him let in 6 goals. Yes, 6 goals, and they won, and that left him with a .739 save percentage. I would expect Sway in the net tomorrow, and while he hasn't been perfect for Boston, he's been so much better than last year. He's already at 3.4 goals saved above expected, and he's maintaining a .903 save percentage in spite of the less than stellar 3.02 goals against average. If Corpy does get the nod, he's holding his own with a slightly worse season than last year, but still getting key saves in at big moments. He has an .865 save percentage and a 3.36 goals against average. Boston needs a win now more than ever. Let's hope desperation doesn't lead to even worse outcomes. Make sure you rate and review the podcast to help us reach more listeners, and tune in weekly to our full podcast available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms.